After session, can you share the recording, ma'am?
Yeah, that's what. Yesterday's also I'll send it today.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So numeric sequence type. In sequence, we can collect the data in three variations. The first one is collection of only characters, collection of any type of data, again collection of any type of data. And the second category of data is called as set. Set by the word itself says no duplications, just one collection of data in which no duplicates are allowed. Because when I said sequence, I can store duplicates also in that. So set of characters can be repeated, that is called as strings. Set of numbers which can be repeated, that is called as list. And set of data which is repeated, but it is not going to be editable. So small difference. This is only collection of characters, collection of any type of data, including duplicates, collection of any type of data, but you can't change the data. It's like fixed read-only data type. So this is sequence. But when it comes to set, set means you can collect data, but you can't collect duplicate values, only single values at one time. So no duplications, but you can do the changes in that. Data can be modified. Similar way, there's one more most frequently used data type called Boolean. Boolean is just like yes and no, true and a false. So for any system, whenever you try to check something, decision making, is your age less than 18? Is your percentage more than 65? So we just get an answer that yes or no. So such data types are called as Boolean data types, where we have only two information. One is true, one is false on that. So such kind of informations are called as Boolean type of data. And the last category of data is dictionary. So dictionary, nothing but just like English meaning itself. What we say is dictionary is nothing but set of words and key the meanings behind that. So we'll definitely find a word means definitely a meaning would be there. Without word, there is no meaning, or without meaning, there is no word. So it's a collection of a pair of data, not just one data. So till now, whatever we did, the sequence or a set, these were collection of single data. But when I talk about dictionary, it is similar to sequence only, but here it will collect a pair of data at every time. So not just one data. So this is the complete description of the data type, the brief description. So here now, yesterday already we discussed the numeric type. That was one was integer type, another was the floating type. And the next category of data is called as complex. As you know, already in mathematics, we go for the complex numbers. So that presentation is in this format, 2 plus 3i. So one variable format, one is the real and one is an imaginary part. So such kind of data, we call it as complex numbers. So such data also we can use in the Python's complex type of numbers. Basic integers, basic floating values, and the last one is complex numbers. And this is integer type, this is floating type, and this is complex type. So whenever you write a imaginary number behind a number, that's a complex number type. Now the next category of data is sequence data type. So here there are few words we have to just remember on that. Sequence means a ordered collection of similar or different types of data. So here every word is important. Ordered. Ordered means in whichever order you are adding the data, collecting the data, it will maintain the same order. It's not going to shuffle the order at all. So what does it mean is if I take a collection of list is a sequence type. Now this is an empty list. There's no data inside this. So there are some methods to add data in that through an operation called as append operation. Let me just add few values into this. I want to add up some values like this. I'm just adding right now. So now when I try to print the list on the screen, you see the data is coming in the same order as we added right now. So order will never change. So the order of insertion is maintained here. So in which order you have inserted the data, it will be maintained in the same order. The example of this is just like a shopping cart. If you have a cart which is empty initially and you keep on adding the products in that. So do we see the products are jumbled or they will be maintained in the same order generally when you purchase some products online? Is the order shuffled or they will maintain the same order of what you have
Same
added the
order,
product.
ma'am, in
So
which
that
we
we
added.
in which we added. So that is like ordered collection. So the list or that real-time example cart is an example of sequence type. So sequence means an collection of ordered data, ordered collection of data. And the second thing is similar or different type of data. Means not only I can store integers at the time, I can just say some text also I can add. It's not a fixed thing that we have to add only integers in this one. So I can add some floating values also in this one. So we can just check it is collecting similar or different types of data. So mostly we call this as heterogeneous data structure. So wherever we can collect different types of data, that kind of data type is called as heterogeneous data structure. And here the next thing is size is not fixed. Means you can increase the size. How is the size increased? By doing appending. Means by adding the data, which is nothing but an operation to add the data. Similarly, we can remove the data by calling some operations like remove. So you can remove any particular data here through this remove operation. And next, we can use some operation like clear, which will clear all the data. All data is cleared off from the particular collection. So not only this, that means the size is modifiable by adding, deleting the data from the collection. So to just remove something from this, we have an operation or we say function which is already inbuilt for a particular list. Like append is an inbuilt function to append a new data into the collection. Similarly, we have a function called as remove. So by calling this operation, I can just delete whatever you like from the desired data can be deleted. Just like how we do in shopping cart, we delete an item. So now when I'm just seeing this data, we can see that the tech word is being removed from the collection. So now size is not fixed. It can prove that. So we can add new items, we can remove the items. And based on that, I can say one more point here is it is editable data type, editable data structure. So editable means the data can be modified here. So whatever data you have in the particular collection, we can edit it. So we can do modification or we can say change the data. So to change the data, now instead of by mistake I entered 5, I want to just make it as 51 or 15. So we already know that to what do you say to call any data from the collection, we have to call the collection and we have to tell the index of that particular item. So the which item we want to modify is the 0th item in the collection. And I just want to update it with a new value called 50. So this is like assigning a new value to the collection. Now, if you see the collection item, it got updated. So it is not a fixed data structure, neither in terms of size nor in the terms of elements. So both can be modified. Size can be expanded or shrunk, and the data can be changed through the index notations. We can do that part. So this is the basic feature of the list is it is collection of same or different types. So it is called as heterogeneous. Its size is not fixed because you can keep on adding, removing, and also clear option. So there is an operation to clear everything out of it. So generally, a lot of locations, we do the clearing concept. Clearing means totally deleting everything from the collection. So now the list is empty. Means cart exists. When you open a site, Flipkart, you see the cart whenever you log in from your site. So there is an empty cart there. Means that kind of collection they have given with no item. So we can keep on adding or deleting and updating the items. Right? So when we look at these points, you can understand here, sequence allows to store multiple values in an organized and efficient fashion because of indexes. Because of the index, it's important. We can fetch the data very quickly through indexes only. And all sequences, any sequence object, whichever you're talking about, are all index-based objects. Now here we'll frequently use this word, objects, just to remove that confusion. So what is an object is anything which is any data of any type in Python is called as an object only. So if you write 5, we call it as an information of int object. If I say just a tech here, we call it as it's a string object. So basically in Python, object means a block of memory. Block of memory where we have this we store the data and the logics, or we say logics are nothing but functions right now. Functions to operate on the data. So what does it mean is, like whenever we talk about a number one, if I just write a data like this, or if I write something like this, so that means this is a picture of an object. This is the information. Somewhere it is loaded. But along with this, whatever you write, we have something else which is created internally. So not only this data, along with this data, the logics are also loaded in the system, like append, clear, remove, as I just called right now. And I'm taking the idle and I'm just pressing D dot. It is showing all the functions which are inserted in this object right now. So every object means a block of memory where we have the data along with the operations. So this is a list kind of a data. Inside a list, we find the list data as well as the list operation. Similarly, if I take a number, now here that means I created an object, means I loaded a data inside a memory, that's called as integer object. And this is a reference to that integer object. So if I press dot, I'll get a picture of that object's functions. Whatever is found inside that object, it will show you. So there are some information or functions available inside the object. We can access them through the access operator. So this dot will help you to access everything found inside this object, right? Is that clear to you? What is an object meaning? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, basically anything. See, if I just say any, you compare with the real-time objects. If I say remote object, you can say immediately some data is there inside that. We have a volume, we have a channel, plus operations. Next channel is an operation. Previous channel is an operation. Increase volume is an operation. So inside the remote object only we find everything feeded. So that's why we call it as an object. So object is nothing but a collection of data and operations, right? So similarly, when I created a list object, so what is a list object? When we write square brackets and you just insert some data inside that. So this is nothing but an object of which type? A list object. So what is there inside this object? We have the data called 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the operations which are dealing with modification of this data. So we can just go for a lot of operations which are found inside this object. So similarly, if I take a string like this, so inside a string object, we'll have string functions. Let us see what are the functions which are found in a string. So if I create a string object, whether I take single quotations or double quotations, just by pressing dot, it will show a picture of all the functions. Now I'm just calling the first function and I'm telling like this. So what has it done exactly? Whatever data is present in the string, it has just capitalized the first letter of it, right? So every object will have its own functions. See, if I take a mouse, I can only click on the mouse. I cannot play a song with the mouse. That means I cannot do some kind of other operations. Every object will have its specific operations only. So when you're dealing with strings, I will get only string kind of operations. Capitalizing, lowercase, uppercase, reversing the string, or finding a character at a particular index. So we have some string operations. Similarly, when I take a list, we'll find which kind of operations in that. The operations which are dealing with which kind of data? List kind of data. So you can add, you can remove, you can copy, you can find the total count. So we can get certain related functions only. So this is a basic definition of an object. Object is a collection of data and related operations only. So all the sequences mainly are index based. This one point you have to remember. Whenever you use this word sequence, definitely what is the point here? Indexes. So which are sequence example? If you looked at the diagram, What are the examples of sequence objects? Strings, list, and tuple. Only three. So that means whichever object I take, string object or list object or tuple object, both all the three are of the index based right now. Means I can call something like this, an index based. Okay, list out of range because there is no data in that. So I'm able to call the data using its indexes. Same way, string. String is also index based because it's a sequence example. Any item you want to print out of that string, we will call that with the indexes only, right? So whichever are sequences, definitely we can call its data through indexes only. That's why we call it as index based. And one more point, whichever are index based, whichever sequences are index based, definitely we can go for positive and negative access. That means we can access them through the positive indexes or negative indexes. Means if I say positive, it will start from left side. When I give the numbering from negative, it starts from the right side. Means we can access the last item saying -1. We can see the first item saying 0. Already we have seen yesterday. So like if I say S1 of -1. So it will just show me the last letter of the string. If I just say 0, it will show me the first letter of the string. So we can use the indexes both positive and negative. But it should be in the proper range. I cannot call anything I like. If that particular index is available only, it will give an output. Otherwise, it will give an index error. These errors are also important. So the error is of various categories. So here the error is because of the index not found. That's called as index out of range, or we say that error as index error. So similarly, if I have D, you can see D has only one item. So if I say 0, it is going to give you. If I say -1, it's going to give you. But other than that, we can't give any other indexes. So it is not having such indexes. So it is elements of the sequences can be accessed both index wise, both positive and negative. Plus, whichever are sequences, we can always use this operator. So do you remember this operator now? Slice operator.
Yes, yesterday we have seen it.
Just it's a starting to something like, we will just give two indexes here. So it's like from starting from 1 till 4th, just a part of it, not the whole string. We just get a slice of it. So whichever is a sequence, it is index based. And since it is index based, we can go for a single item or a slice of item using slice operator. And in this slices, we can go for both positive and negative. Already we have checked yesterday, right? And the next thing is there are operators: slice operator, concatenation operator, and repetition operator. The majorly three operators we'll use on sequences. The first one
Madam,
is
1 second.
slice. Yeah,
The you have given
yeah,
the slice 1:14 means
not 14, 4.
one okay, sorry, 1:4, and the 0 is 1 is and 1 is the second, 2 is the second, and 3 is the one. Then the why the 4 means it came 4.
Okay. No.
My,
Fourth one is not. No, see what is the first letters index? 0, 1,
0,
2,
2,
3.
3. Yeah.
See, if I say 0, like 0 to 2, what will be the output on the screen?
TEC.
TE.
Zero,
What?
It will
only
exclude the
T.
last
TE.
one, right?
TE.
Yeah, it will not execute this one. It will not include second index.
Okay.
Only 0 and 1.
Okay. Means it will be the minus of 1.
Yeah,
The last one.
it's like from 0 till 2. Till 2 means it will stop at 2. It will not use the 2 index item. Index 2,
Okay.
it will not include only. It's excluding the index 2 there, right?
Okay.
Means starting from 0, you have to stop at this index.
No.
Less than 2 only,
Okay.
right?
Good. Thanks.
Yeah. And so I was just saying there are three operators we'll majorly use with this sequences. One was, I say, slice operator. Second is concatenation operator. And the third one is repetition operator. Now, first one already we have done. Second one, concatenation. Concatenation symbol is plus symbol. Repetition symbol is star symbol. And this is three symbols. So concatenation is nothing but whenever we have a list, let us say I'm taking one list with this one and second list with 5, 6, 7. So if you have two lists, two people's list or two product list, we have some two list. I want to combine them and put it in a one single list. So I want to generate a new list out of these two existing lists. So I can generate a new list with the combination of this one plus the second one. So when you do this, what it's exactly doing is this operator. It's copying all the items of the first list in the background. So it is generating a new object, first thing. On concatenation, a new object is created. But in this new object, it will start copying all the items of the first collection. And then it will copy all the items of the second collection. So totally here we can see there are three objects created. One is this object, second is this object, and what is the third object? This is the third object. So how did the third object created? Did we create the object or this symbol has created the object? So are we going to manually create square brackets and do this, or it is happening internally?
Internally.
So this operator is actually creating a new object right now. New object for you and returns it with the copy of both the data, D1 and D2's data, and returns it. So here this word is important, returns it. So meaning of returns it, if I'm writing something like this, does it give you some answer when I say 4 plus 6? Return means giving back. So does this calculation give an answer back?
Yes.
Yes, whichever returns some answer, we can either store that answer in a variable, or we can store that, or we can immediately print that answer. Whichever is giving back something to you, returning some answer, we can immediately print that answer which is returned, or we immediately store that in a reference also. So here we have to just understand that by the combination of plus with D1 and D2, a new object is created and it is returning. So this plus operator is generating a new object and returns that new object, and that object is saved in which reference? D3 reference. Now D3 is being taken as a third reference because this only small topic is simple here. Already you understood that references. So we already created 1, 2, 3 object. This is first object. Second object we created maybe 4, 5, 6. And this object's address is saved in which reference? So this is pointing to this is pointing to this. So when you wrote D1 plus D2, what is this operator doing is copying the items of first one and copying the items of the second one. And this is generating a third new object. So this is the first object, second object, this is the third object. And it is returning you the base address of this third object. So this address, immediately you can store it in a third reference. So you can save this reference in a third variable. So now this is pointing to this third object. So how did we get this object creation is with this operator. It is returning that object and this is now pointing to that newly created object. Is that clear? Object creation concept with the plus operator.
Yes.
Same thing happens whenever I say 5 plus 4. This is one object. This is second object. Again, what is the symbol? Plus. Now it is not concatenation. You have to see the data. Data associated with this two integer objects. So integer objects are never concatenated. They will be used like addition operation. This is called as arithmetic now. Now this becomes a arithmetic operator. It will add the data of the two objects generate a new object with that answer. This is the third object now. And it returns this object. So what you can do with that, you can store it in a reference. You can say something like this. So whenever you say C is equal to 5 plus 4, 5 is the first object, 4 is the second object, generated a third object, and now C is pointing to which object? The third object. C references to only the third object, and these will be immediately destroyed from the system. And what will be the only object available? 9 will be available in the system, right? So it all happens background. You will not be able to see it, but this is what is happening every time. How will you prove it? See, if I'm saying 5, it's already one new object. Somewhere it is created. Its address we can find out. If I say 4, it is also a new object. Somewhere else it is stored. When I did a plus, it's creating a third object. This is also found in some other address. So if I check the addresses of all the three, and if all the three are different, does it prove it's a third object? If I check the addresses, can we identify? Is it the same
Yes.
address or not? Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll just show you this. A is equal to 5. Let me say directly B is equal to 6 and C is equal to A plus B. I'm taking 3 references here. Now, if I check the reference of A, if I check the reference of B, and if I check the reference of C, are they all same or they are different?
Different.
So that means it has created a new object or not? And,
Yes.
and if you want to find out the data type, there is a predefined function called type. It will tell you the data type of the information. So if you just say, I want to find out the data type of B, it will show you. So already we know A is an integer, B is an integer, but what is C? Just to identify, I'm just saying type of C. So is it also a new integer or not? So we didn't manually take an integer, we just got the new integer with the addition operator, okay, with the help of arithmetic operator, right? Any confusion? Same
No,
way,
ma'am.
D is also same concept here. If I created one list, I created another list. And if I take third reference and take it with the help of plus symbol. So it is not doing addition. It is called as concatenation. Now, if I say D3, I already got the combination of all the data. So this is total new item. And if I see type of D3, that is also a list data type. And if you see the addresses of each data, they'll all be different. Clear? Any confusion? Now, there is a small difference by concatenation and appending. You can just check. If I'm concatenating like this, just you can check that. What would happen when I do this? What am I trying to do now?
You are
Editable.
setting
You're making it editable.
Editable.
no,
Yeah. What is this
or
operation for? What are we trying to do?
To
Are we?
add.
Yes.
add
So
the
add.
one
to
more.
do to the
Yes.
T to
So
T
what
you
will be
will
the
add
output? What would be the output expected?
Brackets.
Yeah. And
7,
what
8,
data
9,
will be there?
7, 8, 9.
Okay. What is initially D? What is the values of D?
1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. We
If you
could be
change
having 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8, 9.
In one square bracket. Just remember that only. Is it in single square bracket?
Yes. Also,
it,
double bracket.
Why? Because we have added like one item. Whenever I say add, it's taking everything and adding it one index only. The whole thing as it is. This is different than this one. You're adding this, it is one item only. Sorry. This is adding one single item, one integer object. I can add anything in the collection. In the list, I can add anything. Now I added which item? String item. Now, same way, I can add a list also in this. So now what did I add at this scenario? I added a list. Here I added a string. Here I added an integer object. But now I added which object? List object. Sorry. When you look at this diagram itself, you can understand. I added two numbers, but in which format? Integer format, or is it in a list format?
It's a list format.
List format. So that means which object I added inside the current collection?
12 and 13.
We added a list right now.
Yeah.
Last, we added a list. So because of that, it is saved as a list only. Fine. Is that clear?
Yes.
If you don't want to add like a unit, you want to add 12 and 13 in that one by one, what you can do is D is equal to D plus this item. So there's a small things I'll teach you only on these things. Now you can see how does this data add right now?
Yeah.
Appending is different, plus is different. What will happen when we say pluses? Each item is added individually, right? Small difference between append and plus. If I already have a list like this, and if I say append single item like this. So what will happen with this? In the existing collection, already we have 3 items. Now what is added at the next position? In the next index, at a time, what is added? As 1 unit, right? This is through append. Append will add each item at a new index. Now similarly, if I say D dot, sorry, not append, D is equal to D plus 6, 7. Now what am I trying to do? D is appended with whose items? 6 and 7. So with this, what happens is, these items are taken. What are the these items? These items, all these things. Plus, what are we adding on that? 6, 7.
6 and 7.
So 6 and 7 will be added on it one after the other, like this.
Yeah.
It will come in these indexes, right? And this newly created object is returned. We are again updating in the these reference. Okay, I'll just tell you this scenario. If I say D plus 2, so what will happen with that? If it is this scenario, it'll just add an item on this, let us say 12, and generate a new object. But with this, D is not affected. D does not get affected. D will be seeing the 1, 2, 3 only. If you just say D plus 12, these items are taken and 12 is taken and combined together, a new object is created. But with this item is not at all affected. It's not modified. So when you do like this, the D does not get affected here. Let us say once again. You have to see this D. Now the D item is 1, 2, 3. If I say D dot D plus 4, if I'm just writing D plus, okay, plus will not be used here actually. Plus if I'm just writing like this. So what has happened here right now? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. But let us print the D again. What is the D item here? Same old item. Because here we have not updated the current item. Current list is not modified at all. What you are generating is taking the items of D and taking the items of this list and creating a totally new list. This is a totally new list, separately other list. So this is the first list and this is a second list. If you want to add this new item inside D itself, so then what we have to do is reinitialize D with the current items of the D plus add the new item found in the list. Now when you check, it got updated. So if you don't update it, it will never change the values. Simply by writing like this, it doesn't affect the list. It won't affect the list. It will show you a new object on the screen, right? You got a clarity, or you have a doubt in this plus symbol?
Now 5 number
Both.
has been gone. Why?
Sorry.
You
Yeah.
you did not done any operation to that. You
Yeah.
have
See, it's just
how
like, yeah, just I did like this. Okay. I did like this. What happens with this? What is the meaning of D currently? 1, 2, 3, 4. No?
yeah
1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4's elements plus which element? 6
6
are created in a new object. All these are copied in a new object. So totally a new object is created with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6.
6
So with the concatenation of first list and 6, a third list is created.
yeah
And we are only seeing that picture only.
yeah
Or else I can show it with this scenario. D plus 7. Let us say 6. Now, if I look at D, D is not modified. D is still the same. But what is the meaning of D2? D2 is pointing to the new object which is created with this concatenation. Concatenation of which list? First list elements and the second list element. Right? So on the combination of concatenation, I got a new object where we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6. So D2 is now pointing to which object? New object.
yeah
And D is still pointing to which object? Previous object only. Okay. Both of you are clear. Vinita, you're clear. You have a doubt
Yes,
in
ma'am.
this,
No, ma'am.
right?
Clear now. Yeah.
Yeah. So just you have to understand that I made a D is equal to, then only it will get modified. If D is 1, 2, 3, and if you want to modify this with adding one more item 4 on this, we have to write like this. D is equal to D plus, and items also should be given a list only. Like this. So now when I check it, it's modified. But simply writing like this, it won't modify the item. We have to update D with a new collection. It's not modified. You have to say with D plus 5, right? Then only we'll get the new item added in the list. And here, one important point what you have to remember here is this concatenation operator can be used with similar type of data. That means one list can be concatenated with another list. If you say string can be concatenated with another string, or a tuple can be concatenated with another tuple. But we can't combine two things together. List cannot be concatenated with a string or other integer or other types. So that's the reason what was happening when I said 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4, we were getting an error. Because even if I have to combine 1, 2, 3, 4 with 4, we have to do it in which format? A list format only.
List format.
Then only we'll get a new list which will be generated with the combination of these two lists like this. It will be created. But by this, neither this is modified nor this is modified. You have to remember that. If D1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, and D2 is 4. So this is like two different lists. D1 is 1, 2, 3, D2 is 4. So D3 is nothing but a combination of. So this is how it's happening. Neither this will get modified nor this will get modified, but there is a third one created with the combination of these two elements. And now D3 is pointing to the third new object, which is nothing but a third list with 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? So when you print D, you'll see the same thing. Print D2, you'll see the same thing. Print D3, the new object here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. This will show you 4, and the last one will show you the new object. It's clear? Any confusion?
No,
So
ma'am.
if
no
at all
ma'am.
we type like
Clear.
this, yeah, and if I try like, will it give an answer or an error?
No, it won't. It
Will you
gives
give
an
an
error
saying
because
that
it's not a list.
yes, reason is here. You cannot only focus on the error reasons. Can only concatenate list,
List.
not int to a list. It's very simple English. So while learning process is going on, see the errors, focus on the errors. It will teach you topics, right? So now coming back to this. So concatenation is clear. So we can do concatenation on which items? Sequence types. Any sequence you take, you can use concatenation operator. And the last operator which we'll use is repetition. Now repetition symbol is
Star.
star symbol. So just like if I say something like please print tech for 5 times. Generally we say no, something like in maths we say. So generally mathematically if I have to present, we'll say this symbol no, like this. This means logically tech for 5 times, no, generally. Into 5 we write. Same symbol is here. Tech into 5 will be nothing but tech is repeated for how many times?
5 times.
Like this, 5 times. So this operator is also creating a new object with the combination of this data copied 5 times and creating a new object here. So this is a new object. So if you have taken S1 as tech, S1 will not get modified. If you say S1 into 5, when you say S1 into 5, a new object is created. You can save it in a new reference also. So this means whatever is there inside S1, it's copied 5 times and created a new object, new string object. Now this is pointing to this newly created string object. And when we print both, you can find that answer. S1 is only one tech. This is printing 5 techs. Tech 5 times. And this is printing tech once only. Right? If you check the addresses also, we can identify. So if I just take a tech, a string object, and if I just say S2 is equal to tech and multiplication symbol and a 5 times. Now if you see S2, it's nothing but repetition of that, but S1 is still old object only. So this is the first object and this is this newly created object. And this is the reference to the first one. This is the reference to the newly created one. And if you check their addresses, identification addresses, you'll find the difference of it. So they are different. They're not at the same location now, right? Is that clear? And here we just have to understand star. Star is basically arithmetic. Generally, it is an arithmetic symbol, multiplication symbol, when used with numeric types. So when you say 5 into 6, it's nothing but 30. But when you say tech into 2, it is nothing but tech is created twice. So when we are using star with other types, non-numeric types. So what does it become right now? It becomes the repetition operator. Okay. Otherwise, it's a arithmetic multiplication operator, right? And this repetition can be used with any sequence. So if I say something like this, what does it mean right now? What will be the output on the screen if I print D?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
In one single square bracket or two different?
Two different, I guess.
Think again. When we did this, what did we get? Did we get two separate objects?
No,
Or
no, no. In single one. Single
yes, it's just
In a
copy. So
single.
yes,
1 to 3,
same
1 to
like
3.
yeah, same like concatenation
one. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
in this manner. Fine. So this is a
It will
repetition.
combine.
Yes, it'll just combine them and create a new one. So same like a string list also. Okay. So till here, any confusion in this type? The
No,
concept.
ma'am.
So the whatever I taught, this will be applicable for all these three types because these are the examples of sequences: string type, list type, and a tuple type. Now we just have to see what is the difference between string, list, and a tuple. All are similar because they are sequences, but there are slight variations on this. So now you can easily understand this. Strings are nothing but arrays, like a continuous collection of characters representing Unicode characters. Like now, when we talk about characters, we have various sets of characters. Like we says, there are some ASCII character set, Unicode at 8 system. Okay, let me show this. If I take a notepad and if I save it, you'll get an option here. Sorry, yeah, this one. Encoding character set, ANSI, Unicode, Unicode begin. So we can use different letters. If I'm choosing ANSI, we can only use 256 letters. But if we use Unicode, we can exceed that. We have some other new characters also. So like this, they have developed different character sets. So like for Chinese language, there is a different, Telugu language, there is a different character sets. So we have generated different Unicode systems where a lot of letters are saved. And the basic set of characters is called as ANSI or ASCII set, we say, right? So a lot of Unicode character sets are there in computer sciences. So we have to see which Unicode system. So Notepad is only supporting these 4 systems. But if you take Microsoft Office, it will support more systems, other Unicode systems also. So if you want to just learn about that, I'll send you some links to learn about what are the different Unicode systems. Okay, so Unicode system is nothing but collection of letters, various letter combinations. So they have saved in different systems, like numeric systems. No, like in chemistry we have some some kind of chemical system is there. Same way in computers we have character sets, Unicode character sets. So it always represents them in the Unicode character sets. String is nothing but a collection of one or more characters found on some of the other Unicode systems only, and it is always represented in either single quotes, double or triple, but preferably single is preferred basically. And in Python, there is no character data type. Generally in other languages, we have character data type. So in Python, only string type available, but not character type. So generally in other languages, character means we write in single letters. String means we write more letters, we'll call it as string in other languages. And this is called as char. So we generally say char in other languages. This is, but in Python, there's only one data type. Whether you write A or you write ABC, both are called as strings only. That's str, right? There is no char data type. So char generally was preferred in other languages for storing single character and string for multiple characters. Okay, but in this Python we don't have that. Whether you write single character or more characters, it is only string by default. Whatever you write in single quotes, it's a string only. There's no char data type, right? And the class or the data type name is str. So string is represented with the keyword str. So just data type. That means every data type has a keyword. Str represents string data type. Okay. And if you want to find out that, what you can do is take the help of type function. Type anything here, it will tell you the data type. It will return, because everything in Python is object. When I'm using the word no object, integer object, string object. So these data types are called as classes. So it will mention always like this, class, which class? String class. Any object type is nothing but a classification. So which kind of, which class of data it is? It's a data of class str. So just by saying type, it'll give you the data type of any data you mentioned here. So if I say type, and if I just give any text, it'll give me class string. If I say type and give square brackets, it'll mention an answer as class list. If I say type and I just give in round brackets, it gives data type as class tuple. Type of 5 is an integer. Type of 5.6 is float. Type of anything you write, even if you write single letter, it's of which type? String type only. So same way, I can use the information in curly braces also. Same set of data, I'm using different symbols here. So this is which type? Set type. So I can use again the curly braces with the colon symbol. So which type of data? Sorry, we should have a data here. I just didn't write a data. Yeah, so this is which type of data? Dictionary. So all the data types, what I just informed in the beginning, these are the data types. Set data type, dictionary data type. Now, same way, true. This is which data type? Bool type. So in Bool, we have only two data, true and false. This is Bool data types, right? Any confusion? Now I said there's one more data type called as
Complex.
Complex.
okay, so J letter. It will prefer the letter J. That's the only types available in Python. These are the basic data types. There are more advanced. Those are like we say stack, queues, linked list. There are many more, but they don't come in the basic ones. These are the basic types of data types. And string object can be created in two ways. One is whenever you write double quotes or single quotes or triple quotes, automatically a string is created. String object is created. And you can take a reference to it. Second way to create a string object is using a function called str. So whenever you say str like this, and inside that you put anything. Now this str function is used to convert int to string type of data. Sorry. Is used to convert okay. So when I just print 5, it is basically which type of data? If I just say ID of 5, generally 5 is which type of data?
Integer.
Now if I said str of 5, I'll get an output as, because what is the output we are going to get is 5 now. It will not be in a numeric format. It will come in which format now? Single quotations. So any information, even if you want to convert, now this is which type of data?
List.
List.
Type. So if I say str of list, what will happen with that?
It will become string.
Yes, it
Quotation.
will come. Yes, it will come as quotation like this. Everything is feeded inside quotation. Okay, like this. So why we need to do conversion? You should also understand what is the need of conversion of list to string. See, generally presentations are done on graphical pages. On pages, whenever you send information, whether it's a number or a list or whatever, it should be converted to which type? Text type of data. So that time, even if you have a number, we have to convert that to which type? String type. Just generally we'll deal with text fields, no? In real time, we'll have a text field where we enter your mobile number, email ID, lot of things, house number, age and everything. Those text fields are by default collections of which type? Text only. Whatever you type in the text field, it is automatically converted as a text. So generally presentation graphically will take the information in which format? Text format only. So even if you entered a number on the page, it is automatically converted to look like what? Behind the screen. It's automatically converted as a string. So text can be created in Python in two ways. One is directly you take a text in single quotation, or whatever you take in single quotation is a string object, or else if you have a number which is in a numeric format and you want to convert that into a string, how do we convert that? str of n. So when you say str of 1, I'll get another new object created. Now n is an object of which type? Type of n is what?
5.
Integer.
Yeah. If I say type of n2,
It's a string.
String.
yes. So how did we get that string? This function is used to create a string object. Whatever you pass as an input to it, it will convert that information to string format and return it back, right? So that's what is meaning here is we can create with single quotation or we can use a string object using str function also. Whatever you pass inside that brackets, it will convert that to a string only. We can use every string elements by accessing with a positive or a negative index, individual elements. So if you want to print the first letter, we can call the 0th index. Last letter, better notation is -1. Or last single letter, negative. So we can access individual elements of a string through individual indexes. Or else we can get a slice or substring by using slice operator in forward direction or whatever. Generally, slice operator is used to print only forward direction. We can't print the string in reverse order. Always slice can be used to say from where till where, left to right direction, not from right to left direction, right? So indexes is your choice. You want to mention the numbers in positive way or negative way. But the left index should be always lesser than the righter one, right? Lesser in the term, it should be the left side index. Right side index should be always the right point of this, right side of this string. So we can't say 5 to 3. We can say 3 to 5, but I can't say reverse order. I can't say 5 to 3. Always forward direction in the slice operator. And already we have seen this concatenation and repetition. We have done that. So string can be done. And the major important point, whatever string is, it is immutable object. We can't change the data of a string. Once a string is created, it's fixed. It's already created. No more editing can be done on this. What does that mean is, now this point you have to remember here, string can't be edited. It's read only. Now, did we see like this in list? Could you edit the list items? Could you append one new item in the list?
Yes, ma'am.
But now in string, it's not possible. If you take a string, we don't have an option to append something on this. We can't do that. We can't do this one. This is an error. Means there is no option to add an item in the string. There is only one string. Sorry. So I'll just show it practically. So there is no function because already a letter is missing here. There's no append option. There's no add option. There's no insert option. Similarly, there is no remove option. Okay, remove prefix, remove suffix. Let us see. So basically, we can't change it anyhow. This we'll learn it later. I'll tell you this. All these functions we'll learn it. So basically, we don't have any direct removal. See, when I said list, we are able to remove some items from it. We could do that. We could even remove directly like this. There's a function called popping function. So Monday I'll discuss all functions, general functions of each data type. Like string has a lot of functions, list has a lot of functions. The important functions I'll discuss on Monday's class, right? So we are able to delete, edit the list items, but these kind of functions like appending, removing or popping, we could not find in the string. If you just press it, you can observe these kind of operations are not available in the string. Just check this. This I'll teach. These are other things. This is not removing directly the data. It's a removing of suffix or prefix. Okay. There's no such thing only. Now, if I say some function called upper also. Now, let me say upper. Now, we got it. Uppercase, we got it. Does it mean it's modified? First thing. What is this we have to see? Is it modified?
Yes, it's modified. Even though the data is same, but it's still capital letters, right?
Yeah, so I just said upper. I just tried to convert into upper. I got an output on the screen as upper. But is
But
the
it is
string modified?
data has been
Mm,
not modified.
no, not
Yes. Now
modified.
if I
Yeah.
say s
Data.
dot upper, let us see. Now is it? What is
Yes.
S2? So
It's
how
a
did
new
S2?
object. Yeah.
Yes, it's a new object.
No
How
object.
how is it created is through this function. The role of this function is to take the elements of this, create a new object after converting to uppercase. Fine. Uppercase, I'll teach you on the Monday's class how to convert lower to upper manually. Even if I have a letter, I can convert this letter to uppercase. We have a logic for that. I'll show it on Monday's class. Fine. So internally, it is changing each element. It's not changing. It's finding out the S letter and converting to upper and creating a new object. So it's not changing the current item. So string is never editable. So that's why we call it as immutable object, non-mutable, immutable object. Can't be changed. If you try to do that, it'll create a new item, new string object. But the old object will never get modified. Fine? Any confusion till here? So
No, ma'am, it's clear.
Monday's class, maximum will finish all the data types and the major important functions I'll finish on Monday's class. And after that, we'll be dealing with the concepts, other concepts like operators, decision-making controls, loops. Those are also basic chapters only. So, like it'll take 1 week to finish the basics anyhow, because I don't want to delay the classes for you. So maybe Monday we'll go for basics, and after that, from next day onwards, we can go for focus on chapters like operators, decision making, controls. We'll see how much fast we can do. And then we can say loops. Once this is done, the last chapter, basics chapters would be functions. Till here, we'll be dealing with the basic topics which we learn in C, C++, everywhere, Java or whatever language it may be. And hereafter, after that, we'll go for the object orientation, or we say OOPS concepts. So here we'll learn a lot of topics, OOPS and other important topics, right? So most probably, maybe if you take next week completely also, we may try to finish complete 1 week or more than that. We'll try to see. If you're comfortable, I'll go fast, otherwise I'll go slow. Right? Any doubts in today's class?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Fine. Okay then. Vidita, this is the only time available because I'm having a lot of other batches and timings are not getting fixed. Morning also, 8 to 9. See, if both of you are okay, means I can shift to 8 to 9. If both of you are comfortable.
On morning.
Yeah, because she was asking for early hours. So if both of you can attend at 8 to 9, I can change the timings. Otherwise, this timing 6:30 to 7:30.
No, it can't.
This timing is fine. It's okay,
Fine, fine.
ma'am. Now we are
Okay.
able to follow. Yeah, it's fine.
Sure. Okay then.
It's fine, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Share the recorded section.
Yeah, I'll record. I'll send you both the recordings today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.